For weeks, health investigators had a growing cluster of Salmonella cases and no idea what was causing it. As of late July, it was just an unexplained outbreak, over 100 people sick, no known source, no recall, nothing for the public to actually avoid. That kind of silence is its own kind of dangerous, because while investigators are still connecting the dots, people keep eating the thing that is making them sick, and they have no way of knowing it. That source has now been identified, and it is jalapeños. The CDC and FDA confirmed on August 5th that a multi-state outbreak of Salmonella Haviana has sickened at least 345 people across 27 states. 36 people have been hospitalized, no deaths have been reported. The peppers were grown by a single grower in Sinaloa, Mexico, and imported into the United States by a California-based company called Coast Citrus Distributors. From there, the jalapeños moved into the restaurant and food service supply chain, landing on the menu at two major chains most of us eat at regularly, Chipotle and Qdoba. Here is how investigators actually built the case. Of the people interviewed, 93% said they had eaten at a Mexican-style restaurant before getting sick, with meal dates stretching from mid-June to mid-July. 27 separate illness clusters were traced directly back to Chipotle and Qdoba locations across 7 states. Minnesota and Colorado were hit hardest, with about 110 confirmed cases each. Illinois has 30, Kansas has 13, and cases have shown up as far apart as California and North Carolina. This tells you something important about how outbreaks like this actually spread in 2026. It is not one bad batch sitting in one region. A single contaminated grower can feed a national supply chain and produce an outbreak that looks scattered on a map but traces back to one farm. Both chains have already acted. Chipotle switched jalapeño suppliers across its restaurants starting July 20th. Qdoba went further and simply stopped serving jalapeños altogether starting July 28th, and as of this recording still is not serving them. Because of those moves, the CDC and FDA say they do not consider either chain to currently pose an ongoing risk to customers. That is genuinely good news. But it also means the actual recalled product, the contaminated jalapeños themselves, were never pulled from grocery store shelves for one specific reason. Coast Citrus Distributors does not appear to sell directly to grocery stores at all. Their customers are restaurants and food service wholesalers. So if you are checking your own refrigerator for a recalled product with a specific label, you likely will not find one, because this outbreak was never really a household grocery story to begin with. It was a restaurant supply chain story, and the FDA says it is still checking whether any of the product reached retail through a less direct route. There is one more detail here worth sitting with, and it is easy to miss if you only skim the headline case count. Genetic analysis of the outbreak strain found that while most of the bacteria respond normally to standard antibiotics, 2 confirmed cases carry resistance profiles that could seriously limit treatment options if either patient developed a more severe infection. That is a small number inside a larger outbreak, but it is also exactly the kind of detail that should not get buried under a headline number like 345. Antibiotic-resistant Salmonella is not common, and when it shows up inside an active outbreak, it is a signal worth tracking, not a footnote. If you ate at Chipotle or Qdoba between mid-June and mid-July, especially if a meal there involved jalapeños, and you develop diarrhea, fever, or abdominal cramps starting anywhere from half a day to 3 days later, that timeline lines up with this outbreak. Most Salmonella infections resolve on their own within 4 to 7 days, but children under 5, adults over 65, and anyone with a weakened immune system are more likely to develop a severe infection and should not wait it out if symptoms are getting worse rather than better. The bigger pattern across everything we have covered this summer is starting to repeat itself in a way that should genuinely concern you. Lettuce, eggs, now jalapeños, different farms, different states, different pathogens entirely, but the same story underneath every single one of them, a single point of contamination somewhere far upstream, quietly reaching a national supply chain before anyone even knows to look for it. We will keep watching where the FDA's retail investigation on this one lands, because that answer is still not finalized. If tracking outbreaks like this one before they hit the mainstream news matters to you, subscribe so you catch the next one early, and drop a like so more people see this before their next restaurant order.